All right, Latin business owners in Tampa Bay, you want to listen up here. There is a new organization that is just for you to grow your business and tap into a network. The Tampa Bay Latin Chamber of Commerce just launched for the Tri-County region, Pinellas, Hillsborough, and Pasco counties. So let's go in depth now. We have Democratic State Senator from Tampa, Janet Cruz, and also Cesar Hernandez, the president of the newly formed chamber. Welcome back.
Hello, thanks for having us.
Good to have you.
Good to be here.
We'll start out with you, Senator.
Okay.
You know very well what it's like as a Latino to open your own business. You started your own business years ago.
I
Talk
did.
about your experience.
I worked for a Pearl Vision Center, and they offered a franchise program. And you know, I was raised by a single mom, 3 kids, grandparents who were immigrants, and I said to my mom, I'm probably going to lose my job. They're going to sell this store. So my mom worked for 30 years at a factory and managed to tuck away stock certificates.
Okay.
So she went with me to the bank. She put those stock certificates as collateral, and I was able to put a down payment on a franchise, and it changed my world.
Sure.
It, you know, really moved myself and my family out of generational poverty because I became a business owner, learned so much about not just optics, but business. And the rest is history. Here I am today. But, you know, young Latino families or immigrant families don't always have the same access to capital. I mean, we're looking at families that are poor and struggling. So the idea here behind this chamber, and I will let Cesar do more explanation, is wonderful, and it will teach and train and help Latino businesses be more successful, not just minimum wage businesses or not just restaurants. We're talking about high-tech incubators here, and I will let Cesar talk details about that.
As I know that you want the chamber just formed to work closely with the Tampa Bay Wave. We've had them on many times to talk about their objective, which is to grow high-wage tech companies, and they've been attracting top talent from all over the country to bring and locate their businesses here in Tampa, and I know you'd like the chamber to tap into that as well.
Yes, correct. So as we were looking to launch the Tampa Bay Latin Chamber of Commerce, one of the first things we did is we looked at existing Hispanic support organizations, which do an awesome job, right? And what they are broken up into is mostly on the social services sector or helping to serve as an appendage to existing business owners that are going into service sector kind of positions or that side of the market. And the Tampa Bay Wave invited me to their diversity tech cohort that they had, where they would source companies from all over the world that were from either black or brown tech founders. And that's when the idea kind of came to me in a conversation with Linda Olson and with Dr. Richard Manassi. And what would be awesome is to stay true to Tampa's Latin roots. And what if we were able to source top Latin tech talent from Latin America, the Iberian Peninsula, so Portugal, Spain, Italy, and also West Africa, and be able to attract them to Tampa with the potential to move their companies here and also bring together existing top startups from across Tampa Bay and Florida to participate here and entice them to grow their future billion-dollar companies in Tampa Bay.
All right, so definitely a focus on tech with the new chamber. But when we go back just to the basics of starting that business years ago when you did it, I mean, for anyone, it takes a lot of courage because you're putting that capital out there. You're changing up your life. It's a tough decision to make. That must have been a scary time for you.
It was a very scary time. You know, I knew how to make eyeglasses and I knew how to fit people with their contact lenses, but I didn't know anything about the business piece of this. Although I loved it when I was there, I very quickly learned about signing the front of a paycheck rather than the back of a paycheck. I learned about paying others before you pay yourself. I learned about profits and losses, and now, you know, in today's modern era, you'll be learning about marketing and social media and, you know, a whole new aspect of components that are important to business survival. But what's happening here with these incubators is so exciting to Tampa and Tampa's Latin Quarter. The opportunity to change your life and own a business, to me, I couldn't imagine working any other way. It's been so rewarding for me and made such a change in the lives of my 2 children. And now my son owns a business of his own, and so we're kind of passing that along.
Well, while things may have changed when it comes to, the technology and the tech business, some of the basics are still the same. Hard work, a lot of,
Absolutely.
tears, and trying to get that business up off the ground and running. And Cesar, Latinos have exponentially grown businesses. I think some of the numbers that I've looked at, 4.5 million Latino-owned businesses in the U.S., 700 billion annually in profits. Over the last 5 years, the percentage went up 46%. The decade before that, 24%. I mean, what is behind that type of growth?
So I think that Latinos were very entrepreneurial and industrious just by nature. And what that kind of also parallels is a bigger challenge that is kind of a national issue, and that is access to venture capital. So although Latinos are able to start their companies, less than 3% of venture capital actually goes to Latino founders, and less than 1% of that would go to Latina executives or Latina founders. And Tampa Bay is distinctive, whereas we have probably some of the better performing Latin and Latina executives. For instance, Julia McGregor Peralta with Global Safety Management has probably raised the most VC money in the Southeast. Eric Maltese, which is arguably probably the top startup in Florida with Immertech. And more recently, an inclusion tech company out of Chile that went through the Tampa Bay Waves diversity cohort is moving their headquarters to Tampa. And this is organically. So we're excited to partner with the Senator's office in continuing this accelerator program. And a key thing is not only are we doing tech, but we're also working with Factory 114 and Andre Hampton to provide a professional services accelerator. So the marketing firms, the business attorneys, right?
Business behind the
photographers,
business.
correct, that serve as an appendage to that growing entrepreneurial ecosystem.
And Senator, I want to end on you. We just have a
Sure.
little bit of time, but for folks who are out there struggling to hold on to that business and keep it going, and you know what they've been through, what encouragement can you offer to just hang in there?
Well, I would tell them that these are the best of times. We're certainly in a very strong economic market, and I would tell them to hold on. I remember those days. I remember sitting with paperwork spread across my desk and trying to figure out, how am I going to do this? How do I meet the competition that's moving into town? And it's stressful, but it is the expertise of mentors and incubators and help that's available through mentorship or through some of the banking alliances that we have that can help some of these folks that are not really sure to move forward, but never give up.
All right, that's a good way to end. And it is the Tampa Bay Latin Chamber of Commerce just launched, so find out more about it. We thank you both for coming in, telling us.
Thanks.
Thank you.
It's been great.